Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is January 6, 2025, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, U.S. markets bounce back. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So all day today out of Germany, which should affect the euro, we have a preliminary CPI number coming out. Now looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the major pairs bouncing off of their lows. Now that could also be some short squeeze. Now looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, as mentioned before, get that bounce, and that's a inverse relationship. Now looking at the commodities, gold and oil do slide just a tad. Now looking at the stocks, it's really NVIDIA and Tesla that bring the markets higher. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin joins the fray and has an extended gain to 99K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, it's on its lows but bouncing off of it. It hit 102.5-ish level, and it's right now trading at 103.25, which is 75 pips ahead. That is a decent bounce. Now I would treat anywhere between where we are right here and 103.56-ish level as a possible resistance-ish level. Surely that 30-day moving average, you could see it. That I would treat as a resistance-ish level as well, as this is still on a downward spiral. Now it could bottom here. It could just consolidate between these areas, but just notice that it's still in a downwards momentum as we're making our way lower. Now looking at the GBP USD, also same story, and we did get a bounce as well. Looking at the Canadian dollar, the opposite. It hit its resistance level and then made a correction down. Okay, so it's so far making corrections versus the US dollar, and it's almost across the board. Now another week, another dollar for the Turkish lira. Okay, it's made itself new record lows, 35.31. No surprises there as that continues. Now jumping into commodities, let's take a look at gold. Gold retracing here to 26.27 from its high of 26.63, trading in a range, a short to top, by the bottom. I mean, we're not at the bottom yet. Bigger bottom would be the 2600-ish level. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Now looking at crude oil, that did retrace just a slightly. Okay, it did push higher, but then retracing from 74 down to 73. Once that broke out from our 72-ish level, that really took it out on the upside. Now looking at natural gas, just consolidating here at $3.60-ish cents. Okay, but it's still a player. I don't know which way it's going at this stage because it's kind of lost its momentum on the upside after having those two major sell-offs, and now it's just trying to find itself in equilibrium. Now looking at the U.S. markets, the NASDAQ was the one that really pushed higher, breaking above at 30-day moving average. That's super important, as you can see here. But the Dow Jones, that's not the Dow Jones. There we go. The Dow Jones did lift, but didn't break out with the momentum that I would have liked to have seen like it did with the NASDAQ. Okay, so what it means is that the NASDAQ is stronger, which means the tech stocks are stronger, and they're showing it to us. Okay, if we look at some of the bigger components on the NASDAQ, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA has been pretty strong, and look at that nice gap up and go. Okay, we went from 134-ish level, 135-ish level up to 142. A very decent move for an intraday trade, okay, for anyone's purpose. Okay, the markets were super strong, okay, when that actually freighted. Now looking at Netflix, didn't push higher. However, if we look at the flip side, if we look at Tesla, it did, right? Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla made a huge comeback, $30 comeback from last Friday after selling off below $400 and then ending the day above $400. Let's see what's going to carry out this week. Is it going to revamp itself? Is it going to, kind of make itself back, as that has still room on the upside? Now, lastly, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin did have a comeback to 99,700-ish level. That is resistance-ish level, and then it snagged there, and then just a slight retracement. Now, it's still, I would say, on an upwards momentum. although it did stall a little bit and did churn between a certain range, it still has some upwards momentum. If it does break 99, obviously 100K, big number. Okay, so just psychologically, we could see ourselves back to our highs. Something to look for, okay? Not sure if it will happen because we are at resistance-ish level, but something to consider as we're going into this week. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.